Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you now have a job. We've talked about personality assessments to figure out what job is best for you. We've talked about the interviewing process. We've talked about resumes. And now that you got the job, it's time to talk about what steps you need to take to get paid and what happens to your money. We're starting with the W-4 because it's a form you fill out before you start working. The form is going to ask for your name, address, social security number, marital status, and the number of exemptions you are claiming for income. I'm going to show you in a second what that actually means. But whatever you put on the W-4 form tells the employer how much should come out of your paycheck for taxes. So you don't have total control over how much, but you get to determine the level. And we'll click back to this slide in a second. But this is an example of a W-4. In this first line, you're putting your first and last name. This is where you put your social security number, which is your worker ID number. It's kind of like your account number for work and money. Your home address, and then over here next to number 3, you're putting your marital status. Down in 5, 6, and 7 is where you're telling your employer what exactly you want to come out of your check. So you must have taxes taken out. You don't have a choice. However, you can determine how much or how little of the money comes out of your paycheck. At the end of the year when you file your taxes, if you have not paid enough, the government will expect you to write them a check. But if you've overpaid, the government will write you a check. We call that a tax refund. So again, you're filling out the information to let the employer know how much to take out, and you're choosing your amount determined by exemptions, 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. If you pay, and it turns out at the end of the year that you did not make enough money to meet the federal limit, then you will be considered under an exempt status, which means that the government will give you all your money back, that you actually don't have to pay federal income taxes for that salary. Federal income taxes are one of 4 required deductions. Please write these 2 definitions down. The W-4, and the definition should go up to here, and exempt status. The definition is up to here. Social Security taxes and benefits are the second category of taxes taken out of your check. So, you have a Social Security number. It's your worker identification number. Please write down that definition. Every place you've ever worked, you give a little bit of your income, the money right out of your check, to Social Security. You don't have a choice. It's done for you before you even get your check. The good part is that your employer will contribute the same amount. So if you're paying $25 a paycheck, your employer is also putting $25 a paycheck into your Social Security account. Those accounts are kept track of by the government. The amounts you earn and the amounts you contribute throughout your entire work life is what will be then used at retirement. So if you started working at 14 years old, you started working on your retirement account at 14 years old, which is great. Retirement benefits are then paid to you monthly based on how much is in that account when you retire. So if you've worked all of your life, then you probably have a really good amount of money in your Social Security account, which means that you'll have a decent amount coming back to you when you retire. If you haven't worked all of your life, like some stay-at-home moms who've missed years and years and years of work, they actually have a lower amount in their Social Security account. And that means when they retire, less will be paid back to them throughout their retirement years. This is an example of a pay stub, and I just want to point out the 4 required deductions, 2 of which we've already talked about, are mentioned here. So this particular person gets a salary pay, and from what you should remember, a salary does not change. This person who is John Doe, this person makes $900 each paycheck no matter how many hours he works. But that $900 is not what he gets from his actual paycheck. That's not the actual pay. This is the actual pay because this is what came out in deductions. The required deductions here are Medicare, which is the top one. That's the health insurance that pays for you when you're retired. SSA, which stands for Social Security out. So So that Social Security account is what pays for your bills. Well, it'll be an income amount when you retire. There's the federal income tax, which we did talk about, required number 3. And then the California state tax. So state tax is number 4. SDI could be some kind of insurance for disability. I'm not 100% sure because it means different things to different states. But the top 4 right here, we will mention many, many times, are required deductions. They must come out of your account, which is why this John Doe is not making $900. It says it, but the actual check he gets will be $708.15. When you're ready to start making money, you need to get a work permit. And go ahead and write this definition down. It's the paperwork that a minor must complete before they are allowed to work. Many states require it. And at SPS, the counseling center, is where you could pick up your working permit application or working papers. You'll need to know your social security number. You'll need to have a birth certificate for proof of age, and your parents and guardians must sign. But this is another form that has to be filled out before you actually get to start your job. Once you've started working, you've handed in your working papers, you've completed your W-4, and you've worked for a year or even less, there will be something sent to your house called a W-2. And the W-2 is a summary of the income or the money that you earned throughout the year and all of the money that was taken out for taxes. It kind of looks a little bit like this. So this is J.T. Harris Company, and the employee is James P. O'Leary. So this guy right here worked for this company right here. Here is the outline of what he's done. So this year he made $42,060 in wages, but then he paid $2,985 in income for the federal government, $2,604 in Social Security, $609 in Medicare, and it doesn't look like there's a state tax shown at this point. So you get to show the government how much you've paid in taxes, and they determine if that's enough. Each job must send you a W-2. So even if you work there for a week or less, you're going to get a W-2 for them. The other thing that you should put in parentheses is the date January 31st. They must send you your W-2 no later than January 31st of the current year. You must have a W-2 to process your taxes and to send them into the government. The Department of Labor is responsible for a bunch of different laws that account for equality in the workplace. You're going to write the definition of minimum wage right here, and it stops right here at the word law. The Department of Labor is responsible for making laws about minimum wage and regular work hours. These were the people that decided what was the lowest possible amount you could be paid, and they also decided that the number 40 represents a standard work week. The other things that they've discussed are the idea of overtime pay. Sorry, I jumped ahead a little bit on that slide. We're not quite there yet. Overtime pay is something that employers must pay you for. It doesn't necessarily mean you get double or 1.5 like we've talked about in class. Some jobs just give you the same amount. So if you got paid $8 an hour for your regular hours, you still only got paid $8 an hour for the overtime. It's stinky for an employer to do that to you, but it is totally legal. The Department of Labor made sure that that can't happen too many times before they step in. The Department of Labor also made policies about helping workers injured on the job. One in particular is called workers' compensation. So go ahead and write this definition down. Workers' compensation pays benefits to workers and or their families for injury, illness, or death that occurs as a result of the job. So if you were to fall down the stairs because someone didn't clean them properly at school or at your job, you could get workers' compensation payment until you were healthy enough to come back to work. But if an employee passed away at the job because of the job's fault, then the family would get the benefits. Either way, it has to be something that happened at work and has to be because of the work, not faked a fall in the grocery store and you sue them. That's a totally separate situation. Workers' compensation pays benefits to the workers because of something that happened on the job. The Department of Labor also provides equal employment opportunities for all and fights for all employees to have equal employment opportunities. And lastly, they set up a policy saying that you must establish a safe working conditions and environment for your employees. So again, that goes with the workers' compensation. If they're going to be injured because of your neglect, then that's something that the Department of Labor should come in and assess. FMLA is the Family Medical Leave Act, and this is the policy that allows workers to take up to 12 weeks of unpaid leave in a year for certain medical and family situations. Go ahead and write the definition down for the Family Medical Leave Act, and write FMLA because that's how they actually refer to it more often. It lets you take time off for medical situations. Some employers may choose to pay you during those types of leaves, but they're not required to. Some of the reasons why people might take an FMLA leave would be things like birth and care of a newborn child, including adoption. There's a bonding period that you get off for. Care of an immediate family member, spouse, child, or parent with a serious health condition. If you have to stay home and take care of them, you could apply for FMLA and your company could approve you to stay home to take care of them, but you may or may not get paid. And then lastly, medical leave when you are unable to work because of a health condition. So if you were injured on the job because of the job, you could get workers' compensation. But if you, say, got really sick and needed to have surgery and it had nothing to do with where you work, you can't just not go to work, so you would have to apply for FMLA time. Unemployment insurance is also something that's there as a safety net for you. So go ahead and write that definition down. Unemployment insurance provides benefits to workers who lose their jobs through no fault of their own. So it wasn't their fault that they got fired. Maybe they hired 10 bus drivers and they only needed 9. Or maybe the company itself is going bankrupt. So it's not your fault that you lost your job. After a little bit of waiting period, laid off or fired workers may collect a portion of their regular pay for a certain length of time, meaning that they can get a piece of their paycheck sent to them while they wait to find their next job. As an employee, you should know these terms and be able to follow them in the workplace. Punctuality, meaning getting to work and started on time. You should have a pleasant attitude. You should be loyal, meaning showing respect for your employer and your company. You should be dependable, which means you can be counted on to do whatever it is you say you're going to do. You should take the initiative and take the lead to recognize what needs to be done and or doing it without somebody telling you to do it. And you should be aware that in a lot of situations, you're going to have teamwork or work in a group. Go ahead and pause the slide here so you can write down all 5 of these definitions. Punctuality, loyalty, dependability, initiative, and teamwork. That is what you should give to your employer. As a boss or as an employer, you should provide your workers with supervision, so providing new and current people with information and training so they can do their job well. You should apply them with human resource policies, meaning clear rules on hiring, firing, and any kind of problems that happen at the workplace. An employer should provide you with a safe working condition, and we've talked about that before. And then finally, an evaluation. They should have some kind of report that discusses your strengths and your weaknesses on the job to let you know how you're doing. Please make sure you put these 2 words into your definitions. These are what your boss or employer should do. And that's it for today. We've gotten through all of the what do you do in the first stages of your job slides. That is a mouthful. Go ahead and make sure you haven't missed any of the words. We'll click back slowly. Again, I hope you're pausing often so you don't miss anything. and you're done.